Okay, picture this. It's 1939. The United States, not exactly a global military powerhouse. They had fewer tanks than tiny Switzerland and an air force roughly the size of Portugal's. Seriously, fast. Forward just 6 short years, and everything had flipped. Washington had built more aircraft carriers than every other navy combined, cracked the code of the atom, and planted military bases on every single inhabited continent. That mind-boggling transformation, from what was essentially a regional afterthought to the undisputed global colossus, didn't just happen. It was meticulously engineered, dollar by dollar, base by base, and breakthrough by breakthrough. Stick around, because in the next few minutes, we're going to pull back the curtain and show you the exact blueprint that turned one nation's military into the most powerful force the planet has ever seen. It's a story of ambition, innovation, and sheer, undeniable will. Imagine the world in 1945. Europe and Asia were utterly devastated, their factories leveled, their workforces tragically decimated. But back home, Detroit's assembly lines were still humming, churning out a bomber every single hour, and the brand new Pentagon still smelled of fresh paint. By the time the dust settled, the U.S. didn't just win the war, it owned half the world's entire industrial output and held 2/3 of its gold. Now, you'd think after such a monumental effort, the natural instinct would be to just demobilize, right? Send everyone home, pack up the war machine. But American planners saw things differently. They decided to keep that incredible war machine humming, realizing that 2 oceans weren't enough protection anymore. The lesson was crystal clear. Forward presence beats oceanic moats every single time. So, for the first time in U.S. history, they froze the draft at peacetime levels and started signing base deals faster than most of us sign apartment leases. Guam, Okinawa, Iceland, West Germany. Within 5 short years, Uncle Sam had established over 400 installations outside its borders, and there was absolutely no sign of slowing down. This wasn't just about defense. It was about projecting power, securing trade routes, and planting flags of influence across the globe. Cold War budgets tell an almost unbelievable story, captured perfectly in one stark statistic. In 1960, the U.S. alone accounted for a staggering 52% of total global defense spending. Fast forward to 2023, and guess what? Washington still lays out more cash on defense than the next 6 countries combined. And get this, 3 of those 6 are actually treaty allies. That kind of consistent, massive investment buys more than just shiny new ships and cutting-edge jets. It buys an entire military-industrial ecosystem that sprawls across all 50 states. It transforms universities into research hubs, turns innovative startups into crucial suppliers, and brings Fortune 100 giants into the fold as indispensable subcontractors. Think about it. Every stealth bomber isn't just a plane. It's a mosaic of American ingenuity. Contains microchips from Silicon Valley, advanced composites from South Carolina, and powerful engines built right there in Ohio. The result is a truly self-feeding, almost unstoppable loop. Those massive orders drive down the unit cost of production. which in turn enables even larger orders. And that whole cycle accelerates innovation faster and more effectively than any peacetime competitor could ever hope to match. It's not just spending, it's an investment in an unparalleled advantage. Today, the ledger shows roughly 750 U.S. military installations scattered outside the 50 states in around 80 countries. Let's translate that into practical, undeniable power. Imagine this: a carrier group can weigh anchor in Bahrain on Monday, cruise a mere 200 miles, and by Wednesday, it's already within strike range of Kabul, Tehran, or even Moscow's warm water underbelly. Each one of these bases isn't just concrete and barbed wire. It's a pre-positioned, hyper-efficient Walmart for war. We're talking fuel, food, critical spare parts, and ammunition, all stacked and ready, years ahead of any potential need. Remember when Saddam Hussein rolled into Kuwait in 1990? The very first American tanks were engaging targets within 72 hours. Why? Because the heavy equipment was already sitting, pre-staged, on Saudi sand. That's the power of forward presence. This isn't just about having locations. It's about transforming geography itself into a force multiplier. Allied runways are lengthened to U.S. specifications. Ports are meticulously dredged to accommodate carrier depth, and rail lines are upgraded to handle the sheer weight of an Abrams tank. In essence, the entire global chessboard is meticulously set, strategically arranged, long before the actual game is even announced. It's about being ready, always, everywhere. Think the arms race ended with the Soviets. Think again. You need to look under the hood of today's military machine. Take the F-35 fighter jet, for example. It doesn't just fly. It fires off 175 lines of code per second, talks seamlessly to satellites orbiting hundreds of miles above, and fuses sensor pictures so perfectly that a pilot, while still on the runway, can literally see a destroyer's radar picture. And above that, drones are constantly orbiting, beaming down crystal clear 4K footage to analysts in a Nevada cubicle, who can then order a precision missile strike before they even finish their breakfast. But here's the real crown jewel, the true game changer. It's not any single gadget, it's the network. That intricate web of data links turns tanks, ships, planes, and even individual soldiers into one massive, shared brain. Adversaries don't just face a single platform. They face an entire information ecosystem that can decide, shoot, and assess faster than most traditional militaries can even schedule a meeting. And because that defense budget never really turns off, the upgrade cycle just keeps rolling. Every 2 years, the software gets a refresh. Every 5, the hardware leaps forward a generation, leaving rivals in a permanent, exhausting state of catch-up. It's not just technology. It's a relentless pursuit of the next advantage. The Gulf War in 1991 wasn't just a conflict. It was the world's first live stream of this incredible military machine in action. 93 hours after Amor armored spearheads were already standing on the outskirts of Kuwait City, caving shredded roughly 4,000 Soviet-built tanks at the astonishingly low cost of fewer than 150 American lives. It was a stark, brutal demonstration of what decades of investment and innovation could achieve. Fast forward to 2022, a single U.S. Marine littoral regiment deploys just 18 anti-ship missiles across 3 Pacific islands, enough firepower to effectively close 600 miles of vital sea lane. Think about that for a second. It's the same underlying doctrine. Arrive fast, hit hard, leave slower if at all, but now with a smaller footprint and an even bigger bite. Whether we're talking about lightning-fast special ops raids in Syria or powerful carrier shows of force, navigating the contested waters of the South China Sea, the pattern holds true. The sheer ability to project power, to arrive decisively, and to sustain that presence because the bases and logistics are already firmly established behind you. It's a testament to a system designed for overwhelming dominance. But here's the thing. Hardware, no matter how advanced, minus capable people, just equals expensive scrap. This is where the human element truly shines. The average U.S. infantry sergeant has fired more live rounds in training than many entire armies fire in actual combat. Pilots, they log more flight hours per month than some of our NATO partners manage in an entire year. This isn't just about practice. It's about building an unparalleled level of proficiency and instinct. Add in the power of alliances, and that edge multiplies exponentially. NATO's 31 member nations don't just share a handshake. They plug into identical data formats. This means a Polish F-16 can seamlessly hand off targeting information to a U.S. destroyer that hasn't even left its port in Spain. In the Pacific, trilateral drills between Japanese, South Korean, and American forces allow them to swap missile tracks in real time, effectively turning separate radar systems into one massive, seamless defensive bubble. What does this all translate to? Simple. Any nation foolish enough to pick a fight with the U.S. instantly finds itself up against an entire bloc that collectively outspends, outproduces, and out-researches the rest of the planet. It's a network of strength built on shared values and interoperability. Now, let's be real. None of this comes free, and it certainly isn't without its complexities. The U.S. has poured over $14 trillion into defense since 9/11. A mind-boggling sum, enough money, by some estimates, to have fully funded every single U.S. public college for that same period, and those bases abroad. They often spark protests from the streets of Okinawa to the towns near Vicenza. Military interventions, while sometimes necessary, occasionally swap one problem for another, creating unforeseen consequences. Yet, from a purely hard power standpoint, the ledger remains remarkably clear. No rival has genuinely tested American dominance in a conventional fight since 1973, and even that was a proxy war. Nuclear weapons, of course, raise the stakes astronomically, but they also tend to freeze borders, making direct confrontation unthinkable. Day-to-day influence, the kind that truly shapes global events, is still wielded by the carrier group steaming confidently into a foreign port or the airlift dropping humanitarian aid before any competitor can even finish voting on a press statement. It's a powerful, expensive, and often controversial force, but its impact is undeniable. If this breakdown shifted how you see the globe, then please smash that like button and share it with that friend who still thinks military power is just about counting tanks. For more no-fluff geopolitics, make sure to hit subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the crucial data that the headlines often skip. The United States didn't just stumble into military dominance. It meticulously built it, brick by brick, decision by decision. World War II handed Washington an unparalleled industrial base. The Cold War supplied the urgent existential motivation, and a bipartisan, deeply ingrained habit of high defense spending locked it all into muscle memory. Blend those unrivaled budgets with over 750 overseas bases and a tech pipeline that iterates faster than most Silicon Valley startups, and what do you get? A force that can appear anywhere on Earth, strike with astonishing precision, and stay indefinitely. Sure, other nations can field impressive soldiers, powerful ships, or cutting-edge cyber units, but absolutely none have managed to marry money, strategic location, and relentless innovation at the same scale, consistently for 3/4 of a century. Love it or fear it, that colossal architecture still fundamentally shapes every major trade route, underpins every significant alliance, and dictates the response to nearly every crisis on Earth. And unless those foundational pillars crack, not just one, but all three, then that star-spangled silhouette will keep towering over the world stage for the foreseeable future.